What is up? What is up, guys? Finally, I'm back. My God, YouTube hates me. I think life hates me in general right now, but it is what it is. I got through it. I made it. Thank you so much for the ones of y'all that so patiently waited on me. Makes me feel real good if even one person's willing to sit here and wait, much less more than one. So. But I promise we'll get this together and get on a good schedule where I don't have to keep y'all waiting. But yeah, we'll. You know what? I just glanced and seen that comment by Brett. I wish we would. I wish we could pull in Arizona here and just stay straight whatever time. I wouldn't care what time it was if we would just stay that way and quit going back and forth. So anyway, the daylight savings time and back and forth is what kills me worse than anything. All right. So yes, we'll not mess around too much. We'll get into it real quick. I apologize in advance. This is Dan Bongino, and he does not have video anywhere but Rumble, and I don't have a Rumble Premium account because I don't hardly ever use it, especially not for this. So we might have an ad or two pop up here and there, but it'll just be a few seconds. I'll skip off of it as quick as I can. I do have a YouTube Premium just for that very reason, so y'all don't have to see ads. But like I said, my only one time do I wake up about 5 o'clock, yeah, 5ish, something like that. Now, not on the weekends, but during the week, yes. Yeah, and it sucks because with my schedule and, life, wife, kids, it's hard to get going before 10 o'clock at night. And then, yeah, by the time I do this, get in bed, 5 o'clock does come early. Yes, it is mid-season. I tell you what, I've not ever regretted that investment. So I just, like I said, we're going to be playing off a Rumble, and I don't have a Rumble Premium, so we'll get some ads, but we'll get through it just as quick as we can. Y'all got to see this. This man. It's epic. I'm sure y'all seen the at least clips from the first big crash out over the whole Erica Kirk situation. Well, this one is another one. It's a little different than the first one. Y'all see. We're about to find out, but not as many people have seen this, and this is more Joe Kent related, but also, I mean, it's Joe Kent's the main character. He's the one that started it, but it goes into Charlie Kirk and Butler and all that. So anyway, all right, guys, let me add this in here. Oh, there he is. There he is. I tell you what, let's see. Before I play this, yeah. All right, guys, we'll get there. But before I play that, I got one other thing. I got something else I want to play first. Oops, come on now. There we go. I almost forgot to play this. Let's see here. Okay. Where is it? Come on now. Oh man, where did it go? You gotta be shitting me. I know. Oh, I bet I know where it's at. Hold, please. It should be an extra professional show. Okay. No, that's not what I wanted. Okay, let's see here. Is that where I put it? Oh. Nope. Okay, let's Let's see. Sorry, guys. I won't mess around too long. We'll jump right into something else if I don't find it here. I could have swore I saved it. Well, obviously I didn't. Oh, I can do this. Here we go. All right, guys, here we go. Thought I had that saved. I apologize, but I finally found it. Trust me, it'll be worth a good laugh to have waited. Okay, let's see. Let's add it in here. Share screen. Okay, guys. Oh, it's going to be one of them nights, huh? All right. God. Sometimes you just wish that you had not decided to do this.
God. I am back. The Podfather is back, and I'm here to take back this movement. This movement's been hijacked by a small group of dipshits and bums and losers who are nothing but doomers under the frame of accountability. I'm all about accountability. I just showed you what we did or what we didn't. I'm not sitting here going, hey, trust me, bro. I showed you. If you like it, great. If you don't,
trust me, bro.
That is absolutely your constitutional right. You paid for it to go out and go, that sucked. I would have done something different. Okay, but you didn't. You didn't do anything different. The grifter bums, all you guys are a class of doomers. Everything sucks all the time. You would have done it different. You didn't do shit. You did nothing.
Neither did you, fuckwad.
You didn't volunteer. You didn't ask. You didn't give up your show to do. You did nothing. All you did.
Again, you didn't either, dick face. All right. I got to hear that first part again, then we're done.
I am back. The Podfather is back.
The Podfather. What a retard. Yeah, I did it the hard R. Oh my God. Podfather. Cockfather, maybe. Excuse my language. Okay, now we'll get back to the good stuff. All right, here we go, and fire in the hole. All right, guys, here we go. We're back to where we started from. Let's do it. Oops. That ain't what I wanted. God, guys, it's one of them nights. I'm sorry. We'll get her together here in just a minute. Freaking Rumble.
So they take out and attack every single person around him. And they say, these people are awful. But we're not really saying anything about Donald Trump, but he's just dumb up there. He don't know what he's doing. It's just the gatekeepers. And they don't even say that. It's like, oh, he's being misled. Put it in X and look for yourself. Second, now we're going to go through this Joe Kent video with Tucker yesterday. It's about 3 minutes, but we're going to stop it quite a bit because I'm going to show you with receipts coming up at the end.
He's going to have receipts.
And I'm going to tell you how he is a liar. And you're going to see bare ass and all gatekeeper theory here. Gatekeeper theory, number one. And number two, the hidden knowledge scam, which I just described.
The only ass we're going to see in the next 20, 30 minutes. is going to be his face. I can just guarantee you.
The beginning of the show, I've got this hidden knowledge, yet I was in a position of power, and all of a sudden, like, I don't have the answers, but I'm just asking questions.
And he's talking about Joe Kent. That's awful funny that he's, he's like, oh, I'm in a position of power. Of course, he is speaking for Joe Kent. I'm in a position of power, when Dan Bongino, along with a lot of the other guys, FBI and all, have been screaming for the past couple weeks, ever since Joe Kent came out, that he was not in a position of power, that the counterterrorism division or whatever, I can't even think of the National Terrorism Center. Anyway, that they had no policing authorities. They don't even have any investigative authorities. So what exactly they do or supposed to do, I don't know. But anyway, according to Dan Bongino, he was not in a position of power at all. So anyway.
But you're asking questions you have no way. If you know something, say it, mother. Just say it. I said everything to you on camera. Some of you didn't like it.
I remember the first thing he come out and said to us on camera right after becoming the deputy director of the FBI. That was when him and Cash came out. Remember that? And saying, definitely for real. Epstein definitely killed himself. And especially Bongino, looked like somebody had a damn gun in his ribs. Like, blink twice if you're, whatever. Anyway, I'm going to stop there.
We got elected to go and open the books. We opened the
We got elected? He didn't get elected to do shit.
Books. And I told you what was there. Some of it sucked. Some of it wasn't the answer you wanted. But motherfucker, I told you the truth.
Where's the receipts of that? This motherfucker, as he says, this motherfucker just told us the same damn story that the people before him told. So how do we know if it's the truth? I mean, he was convinced when he was screaming on his podcast every day that there was all kinds of shit there. But then he rolls up in there, gonna raise hell, gonna kick ass and take names, and comes out like a little whoop puppy. No, he really killed himself. He didn't traffic to anybody.
I told you the truth.
That's what they all say.
These people are full of shit.
And so are you.
Because there's clicks in it. And the Jews and...
I would say you were after the clicks, but, ever since your little stint at the FBI, you're not getting very many clicks at all. So, maybe you're just a true believer.
Pete did it, or Todd did it, or Cash did it, or Bongino did it. I told you the truth. At great
Say it enough times, it'll become true.
Cost to myself. And whether you want to hear it or not is irrelevant to me. Because I'm not going up there at the pearly gates with my Lord and Savior in front of me and having to acknowledge him that I lied to people because I wanted to be popular on.
Exactly, Mermaid. That's exactly what you have to do. You have to scream and spit, and you have to make the veins pop out of your head and neck, because, like you said, that's the way you have to, that's the way you have to come across. That's the only way to deliver that message, I guess. And yes, absolutely. Yep. Dan Bongino and cross-eyed Cash Patel have lost all credibility for sure.
Next.
You got a pointed asswipe.
Using tragedy, by the way, to leverage anger. Disgusting. And that's what these group of doomers are doing right now. They're using Charlie's brutal assassination and the assassination attempt on President Trump and Butler. They are using these two things to leverage your anger, and there are a lot of people falling for it. And if you're part of that crowd, just get out.
Or maybe the assholes that screamed for years that that everybody was lying, that there was more to this shit than what they're telling you. Maybe when they get an opportunity to go up there and open up the books, maybe they could just do what they said they would do and be honest with the American people. Maybe, just maybe, but you know what? We all had a feeling back in the back of our minds that, it's too good to be true. These guys talked a good game, but nobody ever does it, so they're probably not going to either. And guess what? And that's why not only did he not finish his little FBI stint, that was an epic fail, but now his podcast is going down in the dirt because, he talked all that shit about all his morals and values and then went up there and turned into one of them, in record timing. And then thought he was going to turn around and come back and have this huge, be the number one podcaster again. People don't care anymore. People don't give a shit what you say. Yeah, there's a few stragglers, I'm sure, but not like there was. Yeah, he has lost all credibility and then some. Not only do people not want to listen to him, not only do people not believe him, but there's a lot of people out there, you might as well say, hate him. They're pissed at him. He'd have been better off walking in there and turning around and leaving, within the next day or two than staying up there a year and not getting a damn thing done and just lying about it.
Just go. It's not for you, man. You want to be lied to, and I'm not going to lie to you. You relish the fact that people lie to you.
This asshole looked right dead in the camera and said, I seen the file. He killed himself.
You support the people who lie to you. I don't know why. I'm not going to pretend. I'm not Sigmund Freud here, man. I don't know why you want that. But I ain't your guy.
That's the truth.
All I care about is the truth. What happened yesterday on Tucker's show with Joe Kent was just disgusting.
It was simply amazing.
He is a liar, and it pains me to tell you that.
Let's hear it.
This video is about 3 minutes long. It's a snippet, but it's interesting how many lies.
It's going to take us longer than 3 minutes to get through it, especially with me reacting to him reacting to Joe Kent.
And how you'll see the hidden knowledge scam here, the gatekeeper scam. Oh, there's people hiding stuff in the government. You were part of it. You're part of the conspiracy. Why not just out it? You know something?
No, I think that's his number one gripe is that he tried to know something, and guess what? Your ass was one of the ones that blocked him.
Interesting how he knows something, just doesn't say it. We're going to stop this throughout. All right. Start the video, and we're getting probably about 10 seconds in before I have to stop it. Check this out.
What kind of pressure does it require to get a president who campaigned against exactly this thing for 10 years to do exactly this thing? What does it take to do that?
I wish I knew.
A golden pager and a glass case sitting on his desk.
Definitively, I think there's two potentials or two schools of thought. One is the media echo chamber, the donors, the way the Israelis come in and kind of launder the information, like I described previously, then
stop. Okay, so we'll get back to it. You got it held right there. Okay, good. Here we go already.
Mm-hmm.
You see the gatekeeper theory? That they're and hidden knowledge all in the first, 20 seconds? What are we at? Is it the 20-second mark? In 20 seconds, you have it right. This is the mark for suckers. You fall for the hidden knowledge scam and the gatekeeper theory that you voted for Donald Trump, but he's not smart enough to know what's going on. Donald Trump does not know what's going on.
I don't know about him being smart or being smart enough to know what's going on, but dude, why is it so hard to believe that people could vote for a man and then at least be disappointed, very disappointed, at least in certain aspects?
Quote, the Israelis have laundered intelligence. I saw the intelligence. So did he. He's lying.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that. One thing, I like Whitney Webb. Don't get me wrong; she's really intelligent, has done some good, investigative work. But one thing about her is she doesn't trust anybody. And I mean, you should take everybody with a grain of salt, and you should really be careful before you actually trust anybody. But at the end of the day, everybody's a bad guy to Whitney Webb, and that's probably just because of the way she, as much as she's looked into. I guess maybe there starts being I don't know. Anyway, yeah, everybody's a bad guy to Whitney Webb.
That is a lie. That is a lie. We have our own very capable NSA, DIA, CIA, and a number of other members of the USIC that are perfectly capable of verifying and developing their own information. He's seen it. He's seen it. He's making this is
Mermaid, he used to get on there and stomp his feet and scream and wave his hands and talk about how they're lying about Epstein. Epstein was he had foreign ties, and, all the trafficking he did, all the powerful elites that, he trafficked to, and the blackmail and blah, 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 blah. And there was more to Butler, Pennsylvania, that it wasn't just some lone wolf, like, just constantly over and over. They're lying. Cash said the same thing about the whole Epstein thing. The black book, first day I'm in there, if I get in there, I'm going to open up the black book. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And then they got in there and they didn't do jack shit.
the Jews did it argument. That the Jews are the gatekeeper. Oh, the Israelis are gatekeeping information from Trump. Yeah, okay. Donald Trump, he's a sucker for that. I saw it.
First off, here we go again with the Jews. He never uses the phrase the Jews, and most people that have issues in that general area do not have issues with the Jews. They have an issue with the Israelis, and more specifically, the current Israeli government and leadership. So, that just that in and of itself is a lie, and it's disgusting.
Don't tell me I don't give a shit that you have a podcast. I have a podcast.
Does Joe can't have a podcast? No, you dumb fuck. He doesn't have a podcast, so shut the hell up.
Podcast. Have you ever worked for the government and actually read this intelligence to any of the other podcast bros or ma'ams out there? Have you ever seen it? No, period. You have not. Just answer the fucking question.
So what's he saying? Trust me, bro. Have you seen the intelligence? Have you seen it? You don't know shit. No, you haven't seen the intelligence, but I've seen the intelligence. So trust me, bro.
Seen any of it. So you have no idea what you're talking about. You're just taking at face value what this guy's saying.
So we can take at face value what this guy's saying, or we can take at face value what you're saying. Well, I'm sorry, but the past year has done nothing good for your credibility, Dan. So guess what? A lot of people, they already believe that they already naturally are believing what Joe's saying, and then when he comes out and confirms it, then guess what? Who do you think people are gonna listen to? It's trust me, bro, either way, whether it's Joe or it's Dan. And Dan is saying that it should be him. And why does he say that? What is his reason? Just because it's him, because it's Dan Bongino.
That Donald Trump is stupid. He's being dog walked around.
He never said he was stupid. As a matter of fact, that letter that he wrote was, I thought, very respectful.
By Israeli intelligence agents, and we do no verification of our own. Yeah, that's right, folks. The NSA and its huge budget, and the CIA and the FBI, CTD, Counterterror Division, and our Counterespionage Division, Counterintel, everyone's just sitting around jerking off all day. You believe that shit?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me and Cash just sat there for a year.
I can really believe that. I don't know. Cash was on that damn private jet an awful lot, going back and forth from Las Vegas to Nashville saying that. What did he call her? Oh, that country music sensation that he's dating.
We do. Feet up on the desk. Got bored, guys.
Oh no, y'all weren't bored. Y'all were too busy hiding the freaking Epstein shit to be bored.
Sure, Joe. Sure. The Israelis dog walked them. Yeah, me too. I have no idea. I just read the intel. Oh, what the Israelis are? And Trump's just too stupid to figure that out. Guy's only been.
How many times has he said Trump's too stupid in the past 3 minutes? I mean, that right there tells you something.
President for like 5 years now. And he just doesn't know what's going on, fellas. Amazing. The Abraham Accords, economic growth, the Trump tax cuts, the big, beautiful bill. Moving the embassy, despite all of the experts saying otherwise.
I don't really give two shits about him moving the embassy, to be honest with you. That was a evangelical thing. That was the for real. Yeah, that was a Zionist campaign promise. So I don't really give two shits about that one.
Maduro in prison. 0 illegal migrants admitted to the country. Guy's just an idiot. How does he figure this out? He's got a bunch of terrible advisors or gatekeepers. Murder rate at an all-time low. Crime rate at an all-time low. I don't know. How'd that happen? I don't know, Joe. How'd that happen? I don't remember you contributing to any of that. All I remember you doing is asking about conspiracy theories all the time.
You know what makes a conspiracy theory, Dan? Assholes like you not giving the public the information that they need. When assholes like you hide shit that people know is there, and despite all the different ways of trying to find out, you just sit on it and look right into the camera and lie to the American people and y'all are dumb. You haven't seen the intelligence. You haven't seen this. Trust me, bro, it's not there. That's what makes conspiracies. A little transparency like you and Cash promised over and over and over again would help a lot with the conspiracies. So, the fact that Joe Kent was wanting to look into some of these quote unquote conspiracies doesn't surprise me at all. Just means he wants to know what's going on. Everything in government's a conspiracy, by the way.
Play some more.
Option's much darker. I mean, we still don't know what happened in Butler. We don't know what happened with Charlie Kirk. And I'm by no means am I saying
Stop. Okay, folks, this is where we have to part ways again.
We've been parted ways.
I don't know how many times I got to tell you all this. We have gone over Butler so many times. We did a 2-hour interview with Brooke Singman from Fox. I'm going to, the receipts incoming, I promise you.
Ooh.
Did Joe Kent miss the interview? We brought her down and sat her in our office with the case agent for 2 hours and went through everything. Everything. You can actually see the article, Joe. We don't know anything about Butler. We went through everything with the case agent to the point where she had no more. She had a list of questions. We were done. We briefed the president multiple times on Butler, and the president said, and I quote, he's completely satisfied with it. Again, gatekeeper theory. So the president's satisfied with Butler.
He was probably just trying to get you the hell out of his office.
The guy who was more than interested in Butler than anyone is me, being a Secret Service agent too before. And yes,
every blurry and low vision sufferer must try this daily ritual that is leaving doctors speechless. If you wear glasses or contacts, you must see this.
Everybody's lying to the president who's completely satisfied, and he's just too dumb to notice. But Joe knows. Joe knows about Butler. I want you to know something.
No, Joe's not saying he knows about Butler. I believe we just heard his exact words, and he said, we still don't know about Butler. So why are you putting words in his mouth? Why are you saying, oh, Joe says he knows about Butler? No, motherfucker, he just said he doesn't. We don't know about Butler. What he's saying is that, they told us, oh, no connections, no social media presence, blah, 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 blah. And then come to find out through Tucker Carlson, he had a very, very extensive social media social media presence. But guess what? That's never come out officially. The FBI's never updated the last thing they said. You went in there convinced that there was some type of conspiracy and that there was more to the story. You went in there, and I don't care how many times you go through the file. We've not got any updates, so obviously there's nothing else there, right? Which means we still don't know shit. God, why it keeps doing that.
I offered Joe face to face, and you know it, Joe, don't bullshit people. I offered him a briefing on Butler. Did he show up to FBI headquarters to take it? No way.
He probably didn't care anything about you going through a file that he'd already seen. This guy's so dense. The problem is what's not in the file, Dan. The problem is what didn't get investigated, Dan. That is what he's trying to say. They tried to look into it. They tried to do more investigating and were shut down. This is what he means by we still don't know what happened in Butler. You could go through the fucking file 500 times with him. He's saying he's not satisfied with that investigation. You going over the files, giving him a briefing on it on the same file does nothing. We need an actual investigation is what he's trying to say. I don't know why you're so dense on this.
He did not. That's a fact, bro.
That's a fact, bro. Trust me, bro.
You are a liar and a bullshitter. And you know it. I offered you that briefing, and you didn't take it. You have hidden.
Damn, Joe. You should have let him brief you on the file with nothing in it. The way you would have known more or less.
Knowledge about something that happened at Butler? He's got hidden knowledge, folks.
No, he's saying he ain't got no knowledge. He's saying we don't have no knowledge. Ain't enough knowledge out there, dumbass.
Amazing. The president, he was shot in the head in Butler. He was shot in the head. No one spoke out more about the Secret Service failures than me. My first week on the job, I had the case agent in my office with an entire team, including a former Secret Service agent, briefing me about Butler. You know something? Spit it out. Grow a pair. Spit it out.
He doesn't know something. He doesn't know nothing, he said. Holy shit.
You got some hidden knowledge? Let's hear it. I told you what I got. I'll show you the Fox News article. I'll show you exactly what I have.
Oh, that's what that should make him feel better. That should make him feel a lot better working for the being the head of the National Counterterrorism Center. He needs to go look at a fucking Fox News article. That would get him up to date on this situation.
All you got is, I bet a black box. Well, what's in it? Something. Well, what's in it? Something. There's the piece, November 21st. This was last year. Brooks Singman. FBI concludes that crooks acted alone after unprecedented global investigation. You want me to lie to you? This is what you want me to do? Hey, man, here's what's in the file. Thomas Crooks had 50 other accomplices. Did he really? Can you show us that? No, I can't. I'm just making it up to make Joe Ken happy.
This guy is worse than a freaking teenage girl. I'm telling you, he's worse than a high school girl.
Folks, I'm tired of it.
No offense to any girls out there, females, what have you. Just saying. We all know the stereotype anyway.
Man, are we going to live in a world of truth or a world of chaos? You know what? Go down those screenshots and we'll go back to the video. I'm
That's right, Brett.
gonna show you here. I'm really, I don't know what to tell you. If like Joe didn't read this article, this is open source. This is a Fox News article. You know how many employees looked at this?
I'm surprised that he didn't feel up to date on the whole case, classified, unclassified, all. You know, and it's by you know, reading this Fox News article.
485 FBI employees were looked at this investigation, including me. 486.
Ooh.
We don't know anything about Butler, Joe said. Really? The FBI conducted more than 1,000 interviews connected to the case. I looked at all this stuff. They reviewed 2,000 tips, executed 10 search warrants and 100 subpoenas.
Ooh, they executed 10 whole search warrants. Ooh, wee, whoop-de freaking do.
I analyzed 13 electronic devices. Keep this. Wait, later in the video, he says that we don't know anything about the electronic devices. That really?
Yeah, he didn't say that.
That's news to me. Not only electronic devices associated with him, but his family members too. I thought Joe said, maybe Joe would have known this if he would have read the article or shown up for the briefing that he turned down. You see the grift though? Oh, we don't know nothing. I know something.
Oh, I'm seeing the grift for sure. 110%. I'm seeing the grift. You know, Brett, I've thought that myself. I honestly have. But some of the stuff then comes out and it's like, I don't know if that would have come from Andrew. Especially like information on planes that he was or was not on that he was supposed to be. So I don't know. I think a lot of the stuff has come from Andrew, but you know, I'm not convinced he's the main leak.
Black box. I got it. Watch my podcast.
Joe Kennett got a podcast, dumbass.
The FBI examined 35 accounts linked to crooks. I thought we didn't analyze any. I thought they told me that.
I don't know what y'all analyzed, but y'all come out and said that he had hardly any social media presence. And that the last thing that we got was that you couldn't even get into his damn phone. So, and couldn't get into his encrypted account. So, there's a disconnect somewhere.
I thought they said that, including social media, bank, and other online accounts. But we don't know nothing. We don't know nothing about nothing. Amazing, by the way, how, keep this up. The same people out there, clan of people who are telling you out there that Iran's no threat can constantly tell you, or imply at least, that Iran was behind this kid, produce no evidence. They tell you they know something, and then they go, but Iran's no threat.
Oh my God. I can't believe that we had to break this down this much. No, Dan, no, he did not say that. As a matter of fact, he said that they arrested this guy that came over from Iran. I'm going to speak slowly so he can understand. They arrested this guy that came over from Iran, supposedly to, assassinate the president. Well, they arrested him. Then a couple days later, Butler happened. President Trump gets shot in the ear. The issue that Joe Kent was raising was that there never was a real investigation to see if the two were linked, because everybody knows that he didn't do it himself. And it's just kind of odd that 2 days before that, some dude comes in from Iran that's been paid to assassinate the president. What he was saying was it wasn't looked into. So no, he's not saying he knows something. Again, he's saying we don't know enough.
You just implied Iran tried to shoot Trump
No, he didn't.
through this kid.
He's either stupid or he's a liar, or I guess there's option C, which is he's both. I think we're going to go C.
Which story is it, mother? Which story is it? Get your story straight. We don't have any evidence of that. Yes, Iran wants to kill Trump. Yes, this kid is a lunatic. It happens all the time, sadly. John Hinckley, Arthur Bremer. People lose their minds and do stupid stuff. Here's another more from this article. You guys can read it yourself. The home was completely swept. Every device was collected and accessed. There were reports out there say we didn't get into certain devices.
You know, anybody notice that he hasn't mentioned the fact that the FBI was on the roof like a couple of days later with a pressure washer, you know, literally washing the crime scene away. Kind of odd, ain't it? Especially since, you know, in Utah, like 4 days later, they were digging the dirt up and putting concrete down over the top of that crime scene. Strange. Both lone wolves, both supposedly lone wolf shooters. Yeah, and or the fact that without saying anything, the FBI released the body to be cremated. Ooh, see, he hasn't mentioned that either.
That's false. That is just made up. Joe would have known that if he would have read the article or just showed up at our office. The FBI conducted a manual review of more than 500,000 individual electronic files. That's a fact. Engaged with nations around the world to ensure all the leads were covered, which we did. When there was a lead about an overseas connection, 2 instances we became aware of foreign accounts, the FBI reached out to the foreign governments. We did. It goes on. Very quickly, the foreign governments provided the full contents of the accounts. We deployed an extraordinary effort that even people not in Crooks' age range were interviewed and done completely and thoroughly. There's no foreign connection in the case, the official stressed. There's no individual outside U.S. borders or inside U.S. borders that had any role, this is important, in directing him, inspiring him, or assisting him in any way. That includes foreign governments.
Trust me, bro. Trust me, bro.
You want me to lie to you, man? Is that what generates clicks and money? Is this, what is this?
You're going to do it either way.
That's what it's about now? You know how easy it is to...
This is sad. I used to kind of like to listen to this guy some every now and then anyway. It's really, really sad. If I'd have had any idea what his character was actually like whenever I was listening to him before, probably would have stopped way before I did. I can't even hardly stand to look at him anymore.
do that. Listen, I was in the FBI. I got a bunch of hidden knowledge. This stuff we're not telling you, hiding stuff. Tune into my podcast at 5. Folks, this is bullshit. We don't need these people, man. You see what they're doing? They're a gate.
I do. They're exposing assholes like you.
Keepers. Bongino, Patel, Blanche, Hegseth, Rubio, Radcliffe. They're keeping information from Donald Trump. He's not smart enough to figure this out. Bongino, right. Went into the government for the money. You guys know I made...
Yeah, did you not hear me calling Dan Bongino? But yes, I watch Lionel Nation. I love Lionel.
a lot of money in there. A big revenue generator for me.
Yeah, Dan owns part of Rumble. Yeah.
And as you know, it's always great too for your stress levels and your personal life enhancement. Go into the guy. It's a great idea. Yeah. I went in there to tell you the truth. And a lot of the gatekeeper narrative frauds didn't have the balls to take a job in the Trump administration or weren't offered one because nobody trusted them.
Is that what it is?
And then they graciously offer jobs to others like Joe Kent who go out and come out and lie about it. I'm going to take a quick break here because honestly, I got to kind of calm down before I have a freaking heart attack too because I'm so pissed off at what happened last night. This is a serious problem. And I'm getting tired of all...
Don't fucking lie, Dan, and you don't have to worry about being called out for lying.
Also, the fence sitters with a fence post up their ass. Oh, I don't want to call out this guy or that guy because I'm afraid he's going to mention me on the show. Really? But just put my name anywhere. I've been mentioned on shows for 10 years. You want to...
Not nearly as much as you are these days, Mr. Bongino.
Be in the public, get used to it. As Brother Leo from Archbishop Malloy High School, God rest his soul, said to me a long time ago, Real men walk alone, okay? You want pats on the back, you want palm fronds, and everyone will, oh, the Jews did it. Trump's dumb, all the gatekeepers.
Yeah, I saw that too, Mermaid.
You go ahead and do that. Me, zero interest. You got other people out there calling it out too, who've been through these fights before. They don't fall for the current thing. The reason conservatism conserves things is because we believe in a longitudinal, chronological timeline where good ideas should last over time. That's what we're conserving. We don't fall for every current thing. Thank God you got people like, I saw Dana Lash. Dana
Lash. Oh my God. That is like a super Karen. A woman has got to be one of the most annoying people I've ever heard.
Just going for it. Good for you. She's been around forever. She's been through the Tea Party fights. Levin, Hannity,
all freaking warhawks, all just the worst kind of neo-conservatives.
Boomers, all that boomers. Oh yeah,
yeah, Mark Levin.
Really, you've been alive 10 minutes and you've never been through these fights. You don't think we've been through these fights before? Please don't fall for this, man. All right,
Please don't
quick
believe
break.
him. Please don't believe him. He was going to take a break 5 minutes ago.
That was heavy. I'm not even like 30 seconds into this video.
Every blurry and low vision sufferer must try this daily ritual that is leaving doctors speechless. If you wear glasses or contacts, you must see this. An award.
I told you, I don't know how long it's going to go.
As long as 3.5 minutes of your life.
It is. Hey, have you looked at your credit card statement lately? You're working 40, 50 hours a week just to buy groceries and gas, things you used to be able to afford. And the credit card companies are charging you over 20% interest for the privilege.
Yeah, not a big Susie Wiles fan for sure. No. God, I've got to get rid of that other movie or that other video on that other page. Every time I end up going back and it starts playing. Hold on, guys. Gone. Okay, we don't have to worry about that again.
Think about that, over 20%. It's designed to keep you underwater. American financing is doing something that these companies hate. They're actually helping people. They have mortgage rates in the fives. The fives. They're showing homeowners how to take their home. Take care of the. That's there. I have my show. There. Now, Rumble's taken the fight to the financial.
Previously, and then the other option is much darker. I mean, we still don't know what happened in Butler. We don't know what happened with Charlie Kirk. And by no means am I saying like,
obviously Dan Bongino knows what happened.
You know, the Israelis did this or
Stop. Here we go again. Folks, one, this is particularly disgusting because there's an ongoing trial, and I'm not going to take part in this right now because it would be unethical.
I thought it was an ongoing investigation. That was the thing that you wanted to be the most careful about information was during the investigation. As far as I know, the investigation's over since we've got charging documents.
However, here we go again, where I'm not saying anything. Did you hear it at the end? Did you hear what this is the hidden knowledge scam. This is the mark of a Times Square watch salesman. You ever go to Times Square back before Rudy Giuliani cleaned it up? Hey, I got a Rolex here, $25. $25 for a Rolex. Yeah, no, it's real. I got hidden knowledge here. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. I'm not saying that there's any connect. Well, you would know. You don't think. This is disgusting. We live in a republic where every single person charged, from everything from murder to child pornography, everyone, the biggest scum of the earth, is entitled to the presumption of innocence until their guilt is proven beyond a reasonable doubt by a jury of their peers. Thank God we have a republic that works like that. There is a trial going on.
Yes, we are.
And you're claiming you've got some kind of hidden knowledge? Really?
Nope. Quite the opposite, Dan. Not enough knowledge. That's what it means when you say that you were blocked from doing an investigation. That means that there's not enough knowledge, not that he's got some hidden knowledge.
Interesting. You see the scam?
I'll tell you what's interesting is the rise and fall of Dan Bongino, just how quick the fall went, especially as compared to the rise.
I got hidden knowledge, but I'm not going to say it. You know something? I think you're some kind of like whistleblower now. You notice how blowing the whistle on nothing? I know something, but I'm not going to say it.
Not what he said.
Really? I know you're watching right now. And you know
He's probably laughing his ass off too.
a liar. And you know exactly what you're doing.
Oh yeah, he knows.
Play some more.
Am I saying like, the Israelis did this or any of that? But I'm saying there's a lot of unanswered questions there. And there is enough data to at least say that.
There's enough data. I'm not saying anything because I don't know anything. I'm just lying to you. However, there's enough data, but he doesn't tell you what the data is. This is amazing because then he goes on after telling you that there's all this data. You just heard it. It's not my words, bro. Don't kill the messenger.
Oh, ain't nobody gonna kill the messenger. You're doing it to yourself, buddy. Trust me, you are self-destructing all on your own.
Don't kill the messenger for using his way. He's the messenger, not me. He's got this data. He just said it. But now he's going to go on to tell you another lie that he was kept from the data. Do you have data or not?
Oh, what a dumbass. It's starting to hurt my brain. No, he said there was leads that need to be followed. So, maybe data was the wrong word. Yeah, data works, but either way, that there were leads that needed to be followed. So that means those leads are there. But they weren't allowed to follow them. So he doesn't know where they would have led.
I thought you had data. Did he just say, Josh, did he just say it? There's all this data. This is weird because now he goes on to tell you how he was kept from the data, which is also false. Go ahead.
There's a good chance that President Trump feels like he is under threat. We're not allowed to ask, basically, was there any linkage between what took place with Asif Merchant, who was recruited by the Iranians to come to America to recruit proxies to kill President Trump. The FBI put a confidential human source at him. All this is public now. This is all out there in the open. And he's arrested, and then 2 days later, a sniper takes a shot at President Trump.
Stop. Here we go. You see what he does here? This is a trick you ever see that Bane Batman movie? For the uninitiated. This is a trick people use on the uninitiated. They know people because...
In other words, all us plebs, us regular, normal, everyday people, that's what he means by the uninitiated. We're the uninitiated.
The human mind is desperate to create patterns. It's how you survive. The human mind doesn't think in segmented moments. It tries to create pattern. Your mind will actually fill in blanks in your visual field when you're reading at times, because what you're seeing and stimulated with is not what's happening in your brain. That's a fact. Again, if you have any background in neuropsychology, you can look it up. What you perceive as reality is not what's really going on with the light and auditory stimulation and all of that. Human beings create patterns out of information. It's how you stay alive. So what people do to try to sucker the uninitiated is they use correlation and they infer causation from it. Now, again, earlier in this episode, Joe's out there telling you how Iran's not a threat. Now he's implying, you just heard it. Guys, did we not hear it?
Oh, man. I think, again, what he meant by Iran is not a threat doesn't mean. I think the threat that we were told was that there was a nuclear threat, and that they were going to nuke everybody. They were going to nuke Israel. They were going to nuke us, in a few more days, few more weeks, few more months, few more years. They'll have a nuke, and they're going to nuke everybody. That was the threat that we were being sold. And when in fact that nuclear threat was not there. He never said that they never hired some asshole to come in and, take a shot at President Trump. So when he was talking about them not being a threat, he was meaning a nuclear threat. And he knows this. He knows this. He's just talking out his ass, which happens to be his face.
That this Iranian plot to kill President Trump through Asif Merchant, who was just convicted, by the way, a Pakistani, that is a true story.
I like Chase Hughes. I like Chase Hughes, Miss Susan. He's really good.
We're deeply involved in that case, the FBI. It's like, well, it was just a couple of days before Butler. Now, if you're uninitiated into,
in other words, a regular person, one of us plebs,
how this works, you're like, wow, this guy must know something. These two things are connected. That's incredible. They have to be connected, and somebody's hiding it. Gee, what he said in the beginning, President Trump's scared. His words, brother, not mine.
If he is feeling threatened and he is concerned about his life, it's probably more to do with that golden pager that's in the glass case sitting on the desk. That's probably that. I'd say if he's feeling threatened, it's more from that part of the world. Just saying.
President Trump's scared. The gatekeepers are keeping stuff from him. He should be scared. The gatekeeper. I'm keeping stuff. So just to be clear, President Trump is my personal friend, has been for a long time. He's Cash's friend, Ratcliffe's friend. Pam, Todd, Pete, everybody knows President Trump personally. And they all have access to this. And we're all hiding from President Trump a plot for the Iranians to kill him through a kid in
Amen, mermaid. Amen.
Butler. We're all hiding it from him because, wait, I got it. I didn't even, what? Come on, guys. You got to know who did it. The Jews. It's got to be the Jews. It's by $7,000.
Oh, at this point, it wouldn't surprise me. Just saying.
We all got it, I guess. And suckers fall for this.
That wouldn't surprise me if y'all all got it either.
Of course.
Crash outs like this, they're probably giving you more like 10, 12, 14,000 an episode.
There's no actual evidence any of that's true. The irony is, of all the foreign countries I met with, I didn't meet with anyone from Israel.
We all know how Dan feels, though, don't we? I'm going to see if I can make this a smoother transition, but hold on. Let's see what Dan thinks. Why'd I close that out? I'm telling you what. We all know how Dan feels. Okay, let's see. I didn't want to do that. Okay. Hold, please. Here we go. Okay, guys, sorry about that. We are going to share this other window instead. Surely y'all seen this before, but I think it's a pretty good. I think it's a pretty good place to remind everybody at least. Okay, here we go.
Dear to your heart.
Cause is dear to my Israel, the defense of Israel.
What is number one on your bucket list?
Number one on my bucket list. Well, I hate to say this, it was to go to an Oakland Raiders game, but now that I'm boycotting the NFL for the rest of my life, I'm not sure anymore. The NFL better clean their act up, but it was. Remember I used to tell you we got to get out there. You know what's number one now? Going back to that bar we met in. I told you that last night.
Yes,
we got
on that.
I said we got to go stand in the spot we met, Sullivan's, but it's got a new name now.
All right, last one. Where do you want to go that you've never been? You've been
Italy.
to a lot of places. Oh,
God, I can't believe he didn't say Israel.
What cause is dear to your heart?
Cause is dear to my Israel, the defense of Israel.
What is number one on your bucket list?
Number one on my bucket list. Well, I hate to say this, it was to go to an Oakland Raiders.
One more time.
What cause is dear to your heart?
Cause is dear to my Israel, the defense of Israel.
What is
Oh, is it just me? Did y'all notice how uncomfortable he was saying that? What an asshole. What an absolute asshole. Some things never change.
It doesn't matter. If you're a sucker, this is what he's playing you. Joe is playing you for a sucker. President Trump, man, could have been killed by the Iranians. I thought
Yeah, ain't that right, mermaid?
the Iranians weren't a threat. No. I mean, that's not what I'm saying. Well, what are you saying? He goes on later in the interview to say, by the way, there's a fatwa, an Iranian fatwa against developing nuclear weapons. Number one, that's totally fake. It's been debunked 1,000 times. But even assume what he's telling you is true.
Hey, Angela. You must be a newer one in the chat. Glad to see you. Sorry, I just now noticing. Brookings Institute, White Paper 2009, which path to Persia, 20-year plan to invade and take over Iran. Absolutely. You got that, and you got the clean break memo also. That was back in the Bush days of all the countries they planned to take out, and Iran was the last one on the list, or the last one left. So yeah, it's been part of the plan. It's been on the agenda for a long time now. So yeah, nobody can say that this just came up, that this is a new thing for sure.
About a fatwa against nuclear development. Assume that it's not. Assume it is.
I'm just going to go ahead and tell anybody that's here and is not subscribed, please subscribe. We just had a killer episode, or an interview with John Bray a couple days ago, and there's going to be lots more of that coming up. And so plus we just have a good time hanging out here in the chat. It's always a ball. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Everybody, please like the video, and of course share.
Then he goes on 5 minutes later to tell you how the Iranians refused to dismantle their nuclear program. Joe.
Holy Lord. See that look on his face? What an idiot. Yeah, so I'm going to explain the difference. Y'all probably already know. I'm guessing Dan Bongino must not. They did refuse to get rid of their nuclear program. And maybe he didn't listen to all of what Joe Kent said. Joe Kent said that they did not have nuclear weapons, and they did not intend on having nuclear weapons, at least not in the foreseeable future, but that they were not going to get rid of their nuclear program and their ability to enrich uranium, because they saw what happened to Gaddafi when he did it. There's a difference between having a nuclear program, being able to enrich, and it's just it's not really a threat, but I mean, it's just a matter of, hey, we could do this. we're playing ball, we're playing nice, you know, and we're doing it because we want to, not because we have to. So, I mean, and that is what he meant. He didn't mean that they were not going to give up their nuclear weapons program. But yes, he went into this in great detail, and Dan probably again knows that. I don't know. He may be that dumb.
What fucking story is it, bro? I thought you just said there was a fatwa against it. Now you're telling us they're still developing it? I thought you were telling us the Iranians weren't a threat. Now you're insinuating the Iranians killed Trump?
You're an idiot.
But I have secret knowledge that something happened 2 days before.
Hey, Jonathan. Good to see you in the chat. This is the best chat on the internet.
Okay, a lot of things happened.
Definitely voting against AIPAC. Absolutely. Yes. We're definitely voting against AIPAC. I guarantee you no politician will get my vote if they're taking any AIPAC money.
2 days before. There may have been a solar eclipse 2 days before.
Make sure you subscribe, Jonathan. Hit the notification bell. You know, all the things. Hit the like button. Come on now.
You see how superstitions develop?
Idiots like you taking good, intelligent statements and conversations and turning them into this, something to laugh at.
This is how before science, people fell for, there was the sun came out one morning and there was no cloud cover and an insect stung a guy. Oh my gosh, the sun god doesn't like me. That's the mark of the uninitiated into reason.
Awesome.
You want to be part of reason and
Awesome, buddy. Awesome, Jonathan. Good deal. Thank you.
logic and the advancement of humankind? There's a side of truth and a side of chaos. Pick.
You're sounding pretty chaotic right now, Dan. Dan Bongino.
Nothing.
Every blurry and low vision and
here we
sufferer
go
must
again.
try this
Sorry.
daily ritual that is leaving doctors speechless. If you wear glasses or
He's telling you here is true.
I don't know which is harder to listen to, Dan Bongino or that dumbass commercial. Whoa. I keep doing that. God.
I've seen all this intelligence, folks. Outside of this, if, for a second, without blaming the Jews, please point to me one reason that Ratcliffe, Pete, Rubio, Waltz, me, Cash.
Oh yeah, Waltz, the guy that was caught, the one that was caught in cabinet meetings, literally communicating directly with Netanyahu himself, kind of, sharing plans and things, that you're not supposed to be sharing. He should have fired his ass instead of just moving him somewhere else. That Tim Waltz.
Todd, Amo, Pam, that we'd all people who couldn't have supported this guy enough, whether you love us or hate us, are all working together to coordinate a message. Hey, keep all this information from Donald Trump. By the way, as if it wouldn't leak out 3 years later when, God forbid, some Democrat gets elected. You don't think they would love that? Look at what all these guys did. That evil podcaster bunch, they hid all this information. Here it is. That information is...
There's certain things, and the Epstein debacle is a fine example of this. But there are certain things out there that are extremely bipartisan when it comes to keeping them hid. So yeah, there's a lot of things out there that it doesn't matter whether there's a Democrat or Republican in office. They cover their own asses, and the federal government is going to cover the federal government's ass. So Republican, Democrat, it doesn't matter. When it comes to certain things like that, like I said, it's not going to matter who's in office. There's certain things that just us people ain't supposed to know.
Never going to come out. You know why? Because it's not there. It's not there. Mark this episode. You think there's some secret information the government Joe has about Butler and Charlie?
God, this guy's dumb. No, He's bitching about a lack of information. He's bitching about being blocked from getting more information. God.
We're all hiding it because not like we all knew Charlie or anything. He was only one of my best friends. You're right. I definitely don't want to get that done.
Right. It's not. It's not for them. Sure. No. Nope. It's all about us. I said it the other day. I'll go ahead and say it again right now. You know, they claim that, there was an imminent threat. The imminent threat is that the Israelis were going to attack Iran. And when they did that, they see us as the same. So then they would have attacked our bases and killed our people. So we had to attack first. Well, let's see. To me, it would have been a whole lot smarter, would have cost less, been a way, way, way easier task. If we would have just, instead of bombing the country with 90 million people and a monstrous inventory of all kinds of ballistic missiles, supersonics, and everything. Instead of bombing them, if we'd have bombed the little pissant country the size of New Jersey with 9 million people, if we'd have bombed them instead, it probably would have been, we'd probably been done by the end of the day, made it home for supper, and we wouldn't have had to deal with all this Iran mess.
This is possibly the dumbest 3 minutes I've ever seen in my life. Really, and that's saying a lot from a guy I considered a friend. Impugning, by the way, my integrity.
No, you impugned your own integrity. Dan, you did that. You did that. That was all you, buddy.
I didn't walk out the door with some bullshit letter. I told the president I would doodle January, and that's what I did. We flipped the calendar.
That's right, Mermaid. We'd have made it home in time for supper.
And that's what I did. I only had a year. I had a business and a family to get back to, and he knew that. People just like to lie to you about it. There was some turmoil there. You didn't see me write some stupid ass letter.
Oh, we seen you threatening to leave not too long after you started.
The Jews did it. Go on.
We think Merchant and the we know the CHS was talking about the human source that the FBI put at Merchant. They were talking about, hey, we could kill the president potentially with a sniper rifle. But then they arrest him. 2 days later, Butler happens. And Crooks, according to the official narrative anyways, is an enigma. We don't know anything about him. We can't get into his devices. If we did get into his device.
All right. I'm not going to go into this again. Folks, Joe Kent is a liar. He's doing this correlation thing where this thing happened and this thing happened. But did you notice he never links them at all?
Yeah, Mermaid. I love AD Fleet. They need to have Adam on one of those AD Fleet. She needs to have Adam on one of those AD Fleet episodes.
I'd say rewind it, but I'm not even like 1/1000 through the show. He tells you this thing happened with Merchant. And then this thing happened. But did you notice he never once provides the link? The guy.
That's because he said he was kept from finding the link, from looking at the link to see if there was a link. That's the whole point, Dan. You're missing it. I don't want to make you know you're not. You're probably not missing it. You are just trying to cause doubt. You're trying to turn people against the man. You're trying to make him look dumb. And in so doing, you are making yourself look extremely dumb. The problem is there was no link even looked for. So no, he's not saying there's a link.
I was the head of the NCTC. If there's a link, this is the greatest story of all time for all the wrong reasons. Go get a book deal for $10 million. There's a link there? You don't think President Trump could use that link?
He didn't say there was a link there.
Right now? Like the Iranians were involved with Thomas Crooks and we have evidence of it? You don't think that would be a feather in the cap or, hey, look at these Iran strikes. We're all hiding it from them? For what reason? For what? Can you please give me one logical reason we'd be doing that? He has it. but he doesn't tell you.
He never said he had it.
He said nothing there. He said nothing other than this happened and this happened. Are those two thises connected? No, not at all. And then he says again, we know nothing about this guy. I just put up the Fox article, Joe. I offered you a briefing. You didn't take it. We did a 2-hour interview on this. We went over this. Thousands of devices, hundreds of thousands of digital files. What else? I don't understand. If you have something, say it. I want to hear it. You know something about Butler? Tell the president. He doesn't know shit because it's not there. So what does he do? He plays the hidden knowledge game. Oh, listen, we just don't know them. They kept it from me. There's like a box somewhere. Where's the box? I don't know. You sure there's a box? Well, not really, but it sounds good. Sounds good in a podcast. Talking amongst each other in this podcast circle too. By the way, people who have no experience in this space, have none of these briefings at all, talking to a guy who's had the briefing about how no one knows what went on in the briefings. Amazing. One guy wasn't in the briefing. The other.
Trust me, bro. Dan was in all the briefings, so trust me, bro. I wouldn't lie to you.
The guy was in a lot of these briefings, and they still can't figure out what happened in the briefings. This happened, this happened. They're connected, are they? Oh, you have evidence they're connected? No, I don't have it. Well, I thought you said you had it. Be the biggest bombshell.
No, I said I wanted to look into it. You said go take a hike, go pound sand.
Of all time. Go ahead.
But then they arrest him. 2 days later, Butler happens. And Crooks, according to the official narrative anyways, is an enigma. We don't know anything about him. We can't get into his devices. If we did get into his devices, maybe there's nothing there. No more questions are allowed to be asked about.
Yeah, Miss Susan, I think that is definitely the case. I really do. Trump, look, I know that he's an extremely controversial, to say the least, figure, and I know that several of y'all in the chat are not big fans, and I'm, told you I'm pretty disappointed myself. But at the end of the day, one thing he has always been pretty good at is feeling of the base, the people. That's one reason why he's always been on Twitter and the social media thing. And if you were paying attention, you could watch him shift. He would just throw something out there. He would get a reaction, and then you'd see his position shift accordingly. And he's always been real good at that. But for some reason, that's not happening on a lot of these issues. And I'm convinced, because I know if nothing else, how arrogant he is and how big of an ego he's got. I know he wants to go down as a good president. He wants to go down as the best president. And I really, really, really firmly believe that he is not being allowed to really realize how this is being looked at, or how the people are feeling about all this.
Thomas.
Stop. Just leave him up on the screen. Really? We can't get into his devices. You understood we did get into his. That's just a fact, guys. That's just a fact. Joe doesn't know it because Joe either.
Yeah, I know, Miss Susan. I know what you're saying. I know.
Is lying to you, which he is, because he does know that. Joe knows that. And he's faking it. Because Joe was offered the briefing and said no, and we've already gone over this. He's just lying to you because
Yeah, and you know what? He never said that. Basically, the point the point that Kent has made about that, and with the Charlie thing, is not that there's necessarily any ties to anything, but you would think when a guy gets arrested, being from Iran, supposedly there to try to kill the president, and then 2 days later somebody takes a shot at the president, you would think there would be some type of really running down just to make sure that the two weren't related in some way. And that's been Kent's position this whole time, is that they weren't allowed to look into it any further. There probably wasn't. I agree. There probably was no kind of nothing there. He probably didn't work for Iran, but the whole point is they're not the FBI and whoever, for some reason, would not let them look into any of these strange happenings.
I don't know what he wants to write a book. I don't know what he's doing. He wants to blame the Jews. I have no idea. Go ahead.
Crooks. The DHS IG is currently being blocked from investigating.
Stop. That's fake. Joe is lying to you again. Joe is 100% lying to you. The DHS IG investigation into the Secret Service security plan was not in any way blocked. That is total bullshit. I've met with these guys. That is just a lie. Either Joe is lying to you or Joe doesn't know what he's talking about. There is no option C.
IG is currently being blocked from investigating Butler as well. That's out in the media. That's all well known. You're investigating.
Wait, stop. That's all well known. That is not true. That is just fake news. Whoever wrote that is lying to you, and he should know better. Go ahead.
Your investigative journalists found that Crooks did indeed have an online persona,
quite an extensive
online footprint,
one.
and he was
Stop. Joe just said 5 minutes ago, we had no idea. We don't know anything about Crooks, and we weren't able to access his accounts. So
Yeah. And what he's talking about right now is what Tucker Carlson found. Yeah. Nothing to do with y'all assholes.
it was your investigative journal. We already had that stuff.
Why didn't you share that? Last thing we heard was that you couldn't get into his devices, and he had almost zero social media footprint.
No one is saying he wasn't communicating with people. People talk to other people. All we're saying is nobody directed him and told him to do and was part of the plan. You see how they conflate two separate things? If I'm talking to Guy one day online about the show and I go and rob a bank, you see what the sucker does, the hidden knowledge sucker? He goes, oh my gosh, Bongino was talking to Guy. And then he went and robbed the bank. And then the uninitiated into reason go, oh my gosh, Guy must be involved. They are both facts. There's no connection. This is the greatest story ever. If there's a big conspiracy of people overseas, if you have it, Joe, say it. We'll cover it on the show. He's not saying it because it doesn't exist. Go ahead.
Persona.
Quite an
online
extensive
footprint.
one.
It's funny every time somebody takes a shot at a really prominent political figure, that they are it's always a lone wolf. No kind of ties to anybody. No kind of help from anybody. I just wake up one day and decide they want to go kill somebody important.
Was talking to people. So it's like, why aren't we investigating this? I mean, if
An attempt
You want me to answer that?
did murder of a presidential
attempted
candidate?
murder of a presidential candidate, and then there's another assassination attempt. There's been multiple public breaches of President Trump's security over the last year.
Yeah, correct.
And then, Charlie Kirk is killed publicly in a very horrific way, and we're not really even allowed to look into that at all.
Okay. Listen, folks, this part I have to just leave here. This is some of the most disgusting, unethical, and immoral stuff I have ever seen. Leveraging the death of my good friend, his brutal murder, his assassination, that the whole world watched in all of its horrifying gore, for your podcast appearance, you're disgusting.
All family pharmacy. If you want to have medical freedom, one of the foundational elements of that is a pharmacy that you can get access to someone that a professional, a doctor.
Thank you for your service.
Or maybe if you were as good of a friend as you say you were, maybe you would give two shits about actually finding what happened to him. How about that?
to the country. You're also disgusting. This is filth. This is just filth.
I agree. Every word you said tonight.
I wasn't allowed to ask questions, Joe Kent. I'm just going to leave that there, folks. And all you people defending
I mean, what are you going to say?
him right now, I'll accept your apology later. You watch.
Okay. Yeah.
You weren't allowed to ask questions? You sure about that? Sure you want that on the record, Joe? You weren't allowed to ask questions? Really? Go ahead.
Really even allowed to look into that at all. And Charlie Kirk was one of President Trump's closest advisors, and he also advocated heavily against a war with Iran. He was in the Oval
really?
Office.
He did? That's fascinating because I've had conversations with Charlie too. I don't talk about them because the man's dead and I don't like to invoke his name for podcast clicks, okay?
Yeah.
Only to remember him. And I'm not going to do it now. You sure that's how Charlie felt?
Pretty sure.
Matter of fact, I've got a clip of Charlie we're going to play in a minute. Interesting how you're the only one who seems to know that's a
Show us, Dan.
special. Again, here's the hidden knowledge. I've had hidden knowledge about Charlie. Really? Because Charlie wasn't so hidden about that knowledge. Charlie actually said the opposite.
Oh.
But no, he said this to me. Were there witnesses to that? It's just interesting how he knows this.
Everybody knows it, dumbass.
Here it is, the gatekeeper thing, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You.
Charlie was calling out any possible strike in Iran, and all the gatekeepers kept it from him. By the way, neither one of those things is actually true.
Oh, really?
Are we done with this video yet?
No, but you want the Charlie one?
Yeah, can you? Go to the Charlie. Here, okay, here. Wait. Joe has hidden knowledge of a conversation nobody witnessed that Charlie told him, oh, let us go to war with Iran. Meanwhile, here's Charlie in his own words on Charlie.
And you might say, Charlie, do you support or oppose this? I support President Trump. That's my answer. I know the man. He's the commander-in-chief. He's the man for the hour, and he's had the weight of the world on his shoulders. Mm-hmm. So in a situation like this, I support my friend, and he's had my back, and I have his. That's my perspective. By the way, I also look at this and I say, and I understand the arguments of people that, oh, don't intervene and all that. I get it. But boy, have we not exhausted so many diplomatic channels and options. Here is Netanyahu, 261, praising and congratulating President Trump. Play cut 261.
Okay, guys. We got to break away from Dan for just a second because this guy is a fucking liar. I mean, it's amazing how much of a liar. Hold, please. Hold for processing. Here we go. Fire in the hole. Let's see what Charlie really thought. Dan Bongino should be ashamed.
This has nothing to do with nuclear weapons at this point. This is now that we want to go all in and take out the regime. It's time for us to close the chapter on the Iranian Ayatollah and his henchmen and start a new chapter in the Middle East. And that sounds good, doesn't it? But what have we learned when it comes to wars, and especially wars in the Middle East? What you draw up on a whiteboard rarely happens. What you think theoretically is going to occur, there might be unintended and unforeseen consequences, especially when you're talking about a country 2.5 times the size of Texas. It has 90 million people and was an ancient and great power with well over a dozen ethnic groups. You have underground Christians. You don't really have many Jews left in Persia, but also you have secular younger Persians. Who's going to run the country exactly, Lindsey Graham? This sounds like Hillary Rodham Clinton in Libya. So I'm pointing to the first extreme right now, the neoconservative extreme. We must go take off the head of the snake right now. Play cut 285.
Be all in, President Trump, in helping Israel eliminate the nuclear threat. If we need to provide bombs to Israel, provide bombs. If we need to fly planes with Israel, do joint operations. But here's the bigger question.
I can't even say it. Israel.
Wouldn't the world be better off if the Ayatollahs went away and replaced by something better? Wouldn't Iran be better off? It's time to close the chapter on the Iranian Ayatollah and his henchmen. Let's close that chapter soon and start a new chapter in the Mideast, one of tolerance, hope, and peace.
Okay, that sounds good, but that's pathologically insane. I'm sorry, it is. How do you know it's going to be better? Yeah, the Ayatollah is awful. But maybe he's one of the few guys that can keep that country together and not have a 90 million person civil war. Lindsey Graham is so consistently out of his mind, it's hard to even comprehend. Iran is hugely diverse. It is a massive country. Do the people agitating for war even know that? Because be clear, regime change is war. Just to understand, regime change is not like changing the head coach at the Chicago Bears. It's not how it works. It's not like a clean transfer. Typically in the Mideast, it's very messy, creates a quagmire, and then there is civil war. Iran could say that they're going to just go march 900,000 troops in.
That was one clip. This is a different clip from a different day, different time. I know Dan Bongino probably couldn't find these clips. I mean, he was a really good friend of Charlie Kirk's, and he knew how Charlie felt. So, I don't know.
Into Iraq. The Iranian play is there.
Jonathan, I mean, I honestly anymore, I just don't even think so. I think people like Lindsey Graham, they're just disgusting, and I think they're true believers. I really do.
Worst possible case scenario is Iran says, okay, you humiliated us, you killed all of our leaders. We're going to go make this a regional mess and try to get as many people involved as possible. They're going to go after Americans. They're going to go after Saudis. They're going to go after everybody imaginable just to create a big mess and to try to draw the world into it.
I thought that they were going to attack us. I thought they would, if we didn't do this at the time we did it, I think they had in mind to attack us.
Everybody imaginable just to create a big mess and to try to draw the world into it. Because understand, the Iranian people are widely respected and not.
Apologize.
Iran is this big threat. Same people.
I apologize. That wasn't that one there. I didn't mean to have in there. There's another one coming up that's got that in there. Anyway, here we go. This one's a good one.
Iran is this big threat. Same people that told us that Iraq was a big threat. The same people that told us the Taliban was a big threat. I'll be honest. Fine. I mean, I don't like Iran, but the evidence shows that every single one of these people, the last couple of decades, that is pushing for a conflict with Iran has not just failed miserably, has been one of the greatest catastrophes in American foreign policy ever. Thousands of lives needlessly lost of Americans, millions of people displaced, trillions of dollars spent. And let's be honest, at this particular moment, we cannot afford this war. We are economically vulnerable. There is massive de-dollarization happening. We're trying a difficult manufacturing pivot with tariffs. We've seen the rise of the Chinese Communist Party. We blew our military reserves in Ukraine. And now is the time that all of a sudden we want to try to get involved in another endless conflict. Let me be clear. It will not end with just military strikes. If you strike Iran on the interior, you will have a war. Let's be honest. This is more of Israel pushing for Iran not to get Israel weapons, not America.
What about
and that's fine. I mean, Israel should do that. Israel should advocate for its own self-defense. And I love Israel, and I advocate for Israel. Israel has done a poor job, by the way, in the PR war of actually telling us why this is bad for America. So maybe they need to do a better job of that. But is that America's problem?
Nope.
That's a question. I mean, maybe the answer is yes. Maybe the answer is, you know what? They were wrong about Iraq. They were wrong about Syria. They were wrong about Afghanistan. They were wrong about the Taliban. They were wrong about Libya. They were wrong about the Arab Spring. They were wrong about Yemen. They were wrong about the Arabian Peninsula. They were wrong about the 9/11 hijackers being Saudi Arabian. But hey, 10th time's a charm.
Now, Dan said he wanted to go to war with Iran. That's pretty much what he said, or he wasn't against it at all. So what's the truth? I I mean, you're hearing this in his own words. He's a liar.
This time we're actually right. Yeah, you're going to have to earn our trust on this one. It's about Israel and Iran and potentially the United States. On one side is the Lindsey Graham, John Bolton types, where they are actively calling for regime change. Here is Lindsey Graham. This is just lunacy. This kind of analysis is not helpful. This kind of approach, this kind of argument, it has nothing to do with nuclear weapons at this point. This is now that we want to go all in and take out the regime. It's time for us to close the chapter on the Iranian Ayatollah and his henchmen and start a new chapter in the Middle East. And that sounds good, doesn't it? But what have we learned when it comes to wars, and especially wars in the Middle East? What you draw up on a...
Amen, Miss Susan, amen. America first and America only.
Whiteboard rarely happens. What you think theoretically is going to occur, there might be unintended and unforeseen consequences, especially when you're talking about a country 2.5 times the size of Texas. It has 90 million people and was an ancient and great power with well over a dozen ethnic groups. You have underground Christians. You don't really have many Jews left in Persia. But also you have secular younger Persians. Who's going to run the country exactly, Lindsey Graham? This sounds like Hillary Rodham Clinton in Libya. So I'm pointing to the first extreme right now, the neoconservative extreme. The we must go take off the head of the snake right now. Play cut 285.
Be all in, President Trump, in helping Israel eliminate the nuclear threat. If we need to provide bombs to Israel, provide bombs. If we need
Israel
to fly planes with Israel, do joint operations.
Israel.
But here's the bigger question. Wouldn't the world be better off if the Ayatollahs went away and replaced by something better? Wouldn't Iran be better off? It's time to close the chapter on the Iranian Ayatollah and his henchmen. Let's close that chapter soon and start a new chapter in the Mideast, one of tolerance, hope, and peace.
Okay, that sounds good, but that's pathologically insane. I'm sorry, it is. How do you know it's going to be better? Yeah, the Ayatollah is awful. But maybe he's one of the few guys that can keep that country together and not have a 90 million person civil war. Lindsey Graham is so consistently out of his mind, it's hard to even comprehend.
Make sure we don't go to war against Iran, which would be a profound mistake for our country. So that's a really, really important thing. Drill, baby, drill domestically. Peace in the Middle East, peace with Russia, Ukraine. You'll see gas prices go down to $30 a barrel. Charlie, what does that mean? $1.75 a gallon. That's what it means, okay?
And so it's just like this war with Iran is a weird fanatical obsession with some people in my party that are here right now, like Senator Lindsey Graham. Yep. And it's insane and it's weird and it's destructive to our own country. And I speak about it both publicly and privately. And you know who also is sympathetic when I'm saying? J.D. Vance. And so that's a fact.
I'm here to offer a public.
Oh, no, we can't hear that just yet. Yeah, save that for later. Yeah, what about that? What about that? Who's the liar? I'd much rather have Charlie than Jeffy, though. Jeffy, whatever you want to call him. Really? On the one of Charlie? No audio now? Y'all hear it now? All right. Hold on. Baron Coleman time. Hey, Baron Coleman can get away with it. I sure as hell should be able to get away with it. Yeah, holding. Okay, yeah, it even popped up and said your browser lost connection for your screen share audio. My bad. Don't know why it did that. Okay, let's try this again. All right, give me some thumbs up if y'all can hear it good.
So many diplomatic channels and options. Here is Netanyahu, 261, praising and congratulating President Trump. Play cut 261.
Joe's a liar.
Good.
Joe
deal.
has hidden
Good.
knowledge, guys. He had a private conversation. So in one sentence, he tells you he didn't really know Charlie well. But then I did, by the way. I did.
Oh, did you?
I knew Charlie really well.
That makes it worse then. That makes you a damn liar.
For a long time. I don't know Charlie really well, but he told me, please stop a war with Iran. Really? It's interesting. He was saying different thing to his audience.
Did we just hear those 10 clips damn near it that I just played?
So we're supposed to trust you despite you having lied in the prior, 2.5 minutes, at least 20 times.
Dude, you just go to the internet. Charlie did not want a war with Iran. Matter of fact, he was against going to war with Iran. He finally conceded on some limited strikes, going to strike, 2 facilities. But he was against a war in Iran completely and 100%. And your disgusting ass and those disgusting asses over there at Turning Point USA and those retards that sit over there on the Charlie Kirk show with Charlie Kirk's name in 5 different places on the screen, using his name to make a buck for clicks. Y'all are all disgusting.
Lied. I know you lied. I was there. I don't know anything about Butler. You don't know anything? Remember that briefing I offered you? You didn't take?
How many times has he said you remember that briefing?
You going to say it didn't happen? I wasn't allowed access. And then Charlie go, really? That's interesting. That's interesting. I'll wait for your apology on that. There's like a paper trail on that. We'll see who's telling the truth. Again, I'll just accept your apology later.
Yeah. I'll hold your breath.
Play the rest of the video.
With Iran. He was in the Oval Office in the lead up to the 12-day war. I wasn't particularly close with Charlie. He was very gracious to me when I was running for Congress, very, very supportive. So we knew each other. And the last time I saw Charlie Kirk on this earth was in June in the West Wing, in the stairway. And I said hi to him, and he looked me in the eye, and he said very loudly, and it's a small, you've been in the West Wing, it's small, it's a tight space. And he said, Joe, stop us from getting into a war with Iran.
Whoa, that's convenient.
He was single-minded.
Very
he walked off, and he went.
Yeah, I got one. I got one from Tatum that I was thinking about doing. So, yeah, y'all stay tuned if y'all like Officer Tatum, Officer Talmud Tatum.
believe into the Oval. So when one of President Trump's closest advisors, who is vocally advocating,
Instead of Officer Tatum, I like to call him Officer Tater Chip too. So
for us to not go to war with Iran and for us to rethink at least our relationship with the Israelis. And then he's suddenly publicly assassinated, and we're not allowed to ask any questions about that.
Allowed. Here he goes again.
It's a data point. It's a data point that we need to look into.
It's a data point. He has, okay, here he goes again. He doesn't know Charlie, but he's so in tune with Charlie. Charlie shared with him. They had this, he doesn't know him. He runs into him in a blink. He is right. The West Wing is very small. And that's what Charlie says. Conveniently, Charlie says to him, hey, Joe, please stop us from going to war with Iran. Folks, if you believe that, I've got a freaking bridge in Brooklyn. It's quite old. I will sell you for like $10. You really believe that happened?
why would he not have told him that? I mean, my God, I used to watch his show every now and then, at least saw clips. I know for a fact he didn't want us to go to war and want us to go to war with Iran. So why in the hell is it such a stretch to think that he told Joe Kent in the West Wing that he wanted him to try to keep us from going to war with Iran?
Despite Charlie never saying that to me.
Who gives a shit, Dan? I mean, you're the FBI. You were pretty well useless anyway, but how the hell you going to keep us from going to war with Iran?
Ever. In our multitude of conversations, Charlie, I don't recall Charlie saying that on his show. Matter of fact, we just...
Oh, really? I guess he should have watched those 10 clips I just played.
Played Charlie saying the opposite. But no, he shared it with...
What a fucking prick.
Joe Kent, who just says, I don't know him. And then he slips the Israelis in. Oh, the Jews did it. Must be the Jews.
No, he didn't say Jews. There's a difference.
I can't. I cannot believe people are falling for this bullshit.
Me too, Jonathan. Absolutely. He has done that very well ever since day one. It wasn't specifically the Zionists, but he has had a way of making the swamp creatures come out of the shadows and show their ugly faces. So, yes, and this term specifically, yes, he has sure put a light on the Zionists, whether, like you said, intentionally or not.
You know something, brother? You got these data points you keep talking about? Put them out there. Put them out there. You've got some hidden evidence on Charlie or Butler?
Yeah, I know, Jonathan. I know. But, I don't know if you ever checked into the 17th letter. He said they're saving Israel for last.
Put it out there. You want to go down the Candace route? 6,000 pieces of data, not a single piece of evidence? Put it out there. That's what...
Hey, look, Miss Susan, right now, I'm not just 100% sure about anything, but I've always hoped that was indeed the plan, and I don't know. Sometimes I think that is, even though that may seem way out there, sometimes I feel like that is more likely than him intentionally, purposely, knowingly burning his whole legacy to the ground, because maybe he's not getting the access to some of the information in Poland that, maybe he should be, but he's got to be getting some vibes. And so if there's some great grand finale where all this gets just, burned down, thrown out, whatever, and he ends up beating all of them, yeah, obviously, great legacy. But if he's really that sold down the river and there's nothing there other than just him kissing his ass for the last 2.5 years of his term, there is no legacy. So I don't know. He's not dumb, but he may have made a very dumb mistake. I don't know. I guess we'll find out very soon.
Chaos agents do. Go do it. I got a list. I got
Me too, Miss Susan.
that info. Tune in next week at 6, $25 just to get
We shall see, Jonathan. We have no choice but to see. We will see. I just hope we see what we want to see.
in.
Allowed to ask any questions about that. It's a data point. It's a data point that we need to
Data
look
point.
into.
It's a data point, folks. He just won't tell you what it is. Either this Candace or anyone else.
He just did. And then he said it's a data point. So yeah, he telling us what it is.
It's just a data point. God. It's in a black box somewhere. You were in the government. You had the same TSSCI clearance I had.
Maybe you need to get your head out. Maybe you need to get your head out of a black box, like called your ass.
How come you're not telling anybody? You know, it's funny, like people who, the black pillars, who are trying to divide this movement like the Grand Canyon so they can hijack it in 2028. I'll tell you, people like me and Cash and Ratcliffe, like, oh, look at that. They're deep state guys hiding stuff. Meanwhile, we're the ones telling you things. You just don't like what you're hearing. The people you lionize and put on a pedestal tell you.
Still battling nerve pain no matter what you try? Gabapentin, pregabalin, even pricey therapies. They only numb the symptoms while your nerves keep breaking down. But Stanford researchers uncovered the real cause. Toxic plaques called Aegis that strangle your nerves just like...
Jesus. Not what I was trying to do, guys. Oh, please.
cholesterol clogs your arteries.
Bullshit. I have data, but I'm not going to tell you. I actually give you the data. Whether you like it or not is up to you. You voted Donald
He didn't give us a damn thing we didn't have before.
Trump in, who appointed a bunch of lieutenants to go in there and open the books. And we did. You didn't like the answers, some people. Then you get this guy.
It was the same old answers. You were supposed to go in there, kick in the front door and drag shit out, kicking and screaming. And you know what? Show us all the receipts. Show us all the good stuff that they wouldn't let us see. And you went in there and you did jack shit is exactly what you did. And then thought you were going to come crawling back to your podcast and be the biggest podcast in the world and be doing so great. People still wanting to hear what you had to say. But guess what? You're pissed because nobody gives a shit what you say anymore because they know you're a liar.
Guy goes in there. He tells you he's got a bunch of data points, never tells you a single one of them, makes no connection between 30 different disparate facts. And this is your hero?
It's a data point. It's a data point that we need to look
It's
into.
a data point. It's a data point. You mean a data point?
I'm right here.
Like the devices and the thousands of interviews that were conducted? That's a data point too, except it's actual data. You just don't like the answer because you don't think the Jews are behind it. Yeah, let me just point out, by the way, just a couple of the contradictions where this is Joe debating Joe in his own interview. Again, there was an Iranian fatwa against nuclear development. What, just minutes later? The Iranians are not stopping their development of nuclear program. Well, are you debating yourself because you're doing a terrible job? Who won? Joe 1 or Joe 2? Iran's not an imminent threat. Then he implies later on that the Iranians are behind the threat, or the action that shot President Trump in the head. Really? You know something there? I thought they weren't an imminent threat, but they're an imminent threat that tried to kill President Trump? Folks, they're his words. I'm sorry if you're a sucker who fell for this. Those are his words, not mine. I've been very pleasant. This guy was my friend. But you're freaking crazy if you think I'm going to let you go out there and pull me into your crazy bullshit. Oh, I was kept from this stuff. Bullshit. And you know it's bullshit. That is bullshit.
I hope he doesn't think people watch him to actually glean information. I hope he doesn't think people watch him because they take him seriously, want to hear what he has to say. He is for entertainment purposes only these days. Nobody watches this man because of his credibility. Nobody watches this man because they actually want to hear what he has to say. Nobody watches this man to gather some facts or learn something. They're watching him because he crashes out every single day, makes himself look like an idiot. Just like he's doing right now.
Again, I'll accept your apology later. Then he says what? You know, we weren't given access. He says it all the time. Oh, I wasn't allowed to look at anything. And then he goes and tells you later he's got this special piece of information, a data point.
This guy's like a broken freaking record. Over and over and over, he says the same thing about the black boxes and the data points and the special freaking information and the...
I've got the data point. What is it? Were you not given access, or is there a data point out there that you just won't say?
That's right, Jonathan.
Hey, you're falling for this bullshit? Are you insane? How are you falling for this? This is a scam. No different than freaking 3-card Monty.
Oh, God.
This is a bullshit scam. I wasn't given access, but I got a bunch of data points. Really? How'd you get them if you weren't given access? I guessed. Other kids? Candace does the same thing. She didn't even have access. I got a bunch of information.
Oh, here we go on Candace.
Do you have any evidence? No, none. Yeah. Tune in at 6, whatever. You know something? Say it. You know something? Say it. You got information about Charlie, about Butler. You got special information about Epstein. You've got special information. We're all hiding it. We're all the secret cabal of like Trump's friends who are magically trying to sabotage Donald Trump for some reason only you know. But say it. Put it out there. Grow a pair of balls. Those two things hanging between your legs. Grow them.
I think you left yours at Cash Patel's man purse.
Put it out there. Instead, you want to rage at the people who told you the truth while declaring nothing is happening. Nothing's happening. Then something happens. Well, nothing else is happening. And then that happens. Well, nothing else is happening. I have secret information. I would have done it different. You wouldn't have done shit. You sat on your ass and did nothing.
No, he tried to. You're the reason he couldn't do nothing.
You complain on Twitter claiming you have secret information and that the gatekeepers are keeping information from Trump while you do nothing. You know him, call him up.
Hey, Mystic, been a while since I seen you up in here. Good to see you. You're going to have to start being more regular.
A lot of these people know him. They have his number. Call him up. Give him your data. Data points. Oh, you don't have it? These people overload you with information and underwhelm you with facts. Don't fall for it.
Data point.
It's a data point. It's a data point.
Probably so, Jonathan.
And of course, you got to blame the Jews because that's like the boogeyman. When you don't have an answer and you can't connect two things, Asif Merchant was being investigated for a plot to assassinate Trump. Thomas Crook shoots Trump. Yeah, those are two facts. Yeah, is there a tie? Do you have it? No, I don't have it, but they're definitely related. How? How? Do you have that information? No. The Jews. And then suckers are like, oh, no, definitely the Jews. The Jews. Do you have any evidence of that either? Because let me tell you something. It's a data point. It's a data point. If it was the Jews or the Israelis, I want to know.
Do you really?
Produce it. Produce it. Let's see it.
Are you sure, Dan? As you said, protecting the Jews is like so near and dear to your heart.
Gutfeld. You got that Gutfeld clip? Here's Greg Gutfeld. By the way, he's kind of a libertarian, too. Here's Gutfeld and Dana Perino on the 5 last night saying the exact same thing. Like, do you guys have any actual evidence like this Israeli thing? Like, because this just seems like a cop-out for every single thing you guys make up in your hidden knowledge black box theory. What's in the black box? Definitely the Jews. Check this out.
Big things
It could just be some Fox News bullshit too, you know.
that is emerging is this criticism that started early on in the war, which is that Israel made Trump do it.
Yeah.
And the presidents rejected that. Caroline Levitt, they've all rejected that, except for that there is this strain that wants that to be the issue.
But that has been disproven by history. You have 40 years of Trump talking about Iran. He said what he was going to do to Iran in the 80s. He actually telegraphed what he was going to do to the island of Krog or whatever it's called.
And it's also interesting because
Someone in the chat laughing at the hidden knowledge thing. You should be laughing because it's the mark of a sucker. I have hidden knowledge I'm not going to disclose to you. Tune into my podcast at 6. Right, Justin's good. I'm going to make an announcement about an announcement on my show. Then I'm going to get to my show and announce at a future date. I promise you I'm going to disclose some hidden knowledge. And then you announce it every day, the future date, but never actually announce the knowledge. Do you not see this pattern? I'd rather be down to one listener than to fall for that shit. All right, I want to take a quick break, and then I want to show you how, folks, this is important. You know Norm Eisen, this left-wing lawyer? We have to walk and juggle at the same time. Not even chew gum. We got to walk and juggle. I'm getting a little tired, too, with some of the people. Oh, I'm above this. We don't need the podcast wars or whatever. It's not a podcast war. Cut the shit. You know exactly what this is about. You've got a bunch of people using a wedge issue, foreign affairs, and our relationship with Israel to come in and hijack the MAGA movement, attack everybody in it because they have money involved with their preferred 2028 candidate who's not what you think. I told you to bookmark this show, and I mean it. But we have got to fight off these leftists too because they're not kidding around. And they're using these doomers because they know exactly what they're doing. If you can't fracture it from the outside, then fracture it from the inside. Quick break. I'm going to show you this clip. They, by the way, when the left tells you who they are, listen to them. Hey, think about this. In 2006, $20,000 equaled roughly 33 ounces of gold at the spot price. At today's prices, those 33 ounces would be worth over $150,000. Smart Americans diversify a portion of their savings into precious metals. That's why Tax Shelter retirement account is right for you too. Birch Gold can help you convert an existing.
Drinking warm water with cinnamon before bed eliminates this parasite from the pancreas and resets blood sugar levels.
Existing IRA or 401k into an IRA, tens of thousands to the number. You know, we didn't ask for this podcast, bro, fight. I didn't ask for it either. Either did Ben or Dana or Mark or anyone else. Nobody asked for this. But however, a lot of these people, you included, we're not special because we have a microphone. It's nothing special about us. We're activists in the movement just like you are.
Well,
you may have an audience.
You can lurk anytime you want, Mystic, but by God, I'm happy to see you in the chat, and you're definitely more than welcome to pop up in the chat. Really? That's weird, Susan. It ain't me. I guess I can go and check the settings on the chat to see if there's any, but I don't think there's any restrictions or anything. I don't know. I'll have to go and look at the settings. I promise it ain't me.
It says we have no superpowers. Those of you who've been through this movement and the attacks on the movement from the inside, whether from the establishment that.
And absolutely, Jonathan, that is exactly right. They are. Yep, right from the inside. Yeah, it probably is YouTube.
Lost its way or someone else. You've been through this before. That's why it's so dangerous. I'm sorry you got in the movement 5 minutes ago and you're like, oh, let's just disregard this. Oh, yeah, let's disregard, let a cancer rot the whole body. No. Because we're fighting these people. This is Norm Eisen, Democrat super lawyer, basically talking about openly and proud of it, how they just wait for these people to be appointed and accept their positions. And the lawfare and the lawsuits start immediately. Again, they advertise this. They don't hide it. Check this out.
Now at Crew, we have 152 open legal matters against the Trump administration since January 20th. We filed the first one at 12:01 p.m. We want to file the very first lawsuit. I had somebody listening on their iPhone to the swearing in and standing at the GSA to drop a complaint on them about the Trump hotel. Just compelled by circumstances. And when Trump is ejected, as I believe he will be, then I'll help stitch up some of the damage and I'll go back to book writing.
There you go.
This is why I get so upset when, like, Chief Justice Roberts says, man, you can't criticize, the bench and this stuff. Listen, of course absolutely no one should ever condone, imply they condone it, or even do anything other but condemn political violence. Period. No place for it anywhere. I can't say it enough. It's important. But that is a branch of government that reports to the people as well. These leftist lawyers like Norm Eisen and others are abusing the system, are abusing prosecutorial discretion, are abusing the bench like Judge Boasberg and others to dictate a political agenda, not a judicial one. And the left is taking advantage of this. Remember this, the process is always the punishment for the left. The left will drag you in and civilly or criminally prosecute you just for doing your job.
Okay, guys. He finally got tired of ranting about Joe Kent, so we're gonna quit there with that because I don't know that I could take much more if he was still talking about Joe Kent. So let's go back to what I accidentally showed before. We will watch that and then we'll get out of here because I am tired and I'm ready to go relax, and I'm sure you folks are too. And I thank y'all so much for hanging out, for waiting on me. I really appreciate that. And I promise I'll do better. We're getting there. Okay, let's see. All right, guys, here we go. This is pretty good. I really like this. I feel like this sometime. I feel like I need to apologize myself, for all the terrible things I've said. So y'all watch this. This is kind of how I feel about it.
I'm here to offer a public apology for my criticisms of Israel. I'm deeply sorry. This is a learning moment for me, and I'll share with you the 6 lessons I've learned from my grave mistakes. But first, here's my full confession and apology. I've made videos recently erroneously criticizing
It is, Mystic. It is.
The Israeli government. And while there was plenty of agreement with my perspectives, there was also some rageful backlash. And I took note of the many hostile comments insulting me, calling me a Jew hater, an anti-Semite, smearing my character. And those comments have completely changed my mind on the topic of Israel. Quite frankly, the intimidation worked. I realized I was being an anti-Semite, full of hate, and I now fully support the government of Israel. I'm sorry for everything I've said. Sincerely, it was wrong. But here's what surprised me. I took painstaking efforts to deceive you, the viewer. In my videos criticizing Israel, I would carefully put in nuance to draw the distinction that I wasn't talking about Jewish people or citizens of Israel, while clearly stating I was talking about the government of the country of Israel. Like this. By the way, if you're sitting there going like, this isn't a look at citizens of Israel, this is a look at the Israeli government. But so-called haters like this saw right through that and knew that I was talking about Jewish people. The very people I wasn't talking about and deliberately said I wasn't talking about. Not only that, but they rightfully pointed out that I hate Jews.
I hate Jews. Yeah. I love it. Sorry, guys. I got to pause it and talk about it every now and then. You know, I don't need no copyright strikes.
My only question to these commenters is like, how could you tell? That's what I was, because I tried so hard to hide it. And other helpful comments like this one helped awaken me from the
Hey, I'm a Sagittarius too, guys.
Jew hate I had just fallen into. F you, you f***ing moron. There's 57 Muslim countries. We can have one. Go f*** yourself.
Go fuck yourself.
It occurred to me a person like this is excellent at spotting hate because she clearly has none of it inside of her.
She clearly has none of it inside of her. No, clearly not.
And she correctly spotted it in me. These types of comments were very effective. They typically involved hostility, character smearing, insults fueled by anger. In other words, they're the loudest people screaming. And that might make you
definitely the loudest people screaming, 110%.
You think that if you don't agree with them, then you're in a small, shameful minority of people. But according to this poll,
I'm the fourth, Miss Susan.
They're actually in the 5.5% minority.
I got a kid that's on December the 1st.
Of people. What does that tell you? Well, it tells you that 94.5% of people need hostility and emotionally charged insults thrown at them so they can be convinced to think like you. Just like I was. I mean, my realization
just like I was
like, look at the behavior of these people calling me an anti-Semitic sack of shit.
Crazy, ain't it? That's weird.
What do they believe?
All right, let's see what we got here. Oh, go fuck yourself. Hello, America. This guy is a low IQ loser. You stupid bitch. I thought I had this sack of shit muted. I do now.
Because I want to be just like them. And realizing that they have the exact same perspectives as Lindsey Graham gives me a good...
Yeah, that's pretty cool, Miss Susan. That's crazy.
Principled man to set my sights on to emulate. And even though people like say it, I honestly don't think Lindsey Graham is gay. Side note, I also noticed
now
that
we know you're lying, JP.
Most of the haters had Israel flags in their bios. And just to clarify, when people were doing that with Ukraine, saying Ukraine's our greatest ally, we know it was just people falling for anti-American propaganda. But with Israel, it's different because Israel is our greatest ally.
Yeah, definitely. Most definitely our greatest ally. Absolutely.
And I stand with Israel. At least I do now.
At least I do now.
Before I get to the very humbling lessons I've learned, I want you to know that I recently sat down with two of my closest friends who are Jewish. Here's what I said to them. I apologize for hating you guys. They said back to me, how have you been hating us? I said, well, I've been openly criticizing Netanyahu and Israel's government. And I've learned that's really me hating you Jews. And they said, no, it's not. We have family in Israel and they hate Netanyahu.
It is wild. See, that means you're going to have to start hanging out more in the chat. See, pretty cool. Crazy. It's meant to be.
They went on and said, according to polls in Israel, only 40% of Israelis trust Netanyahu. They're really frightened by the guy and how he runs things and the direction he's taking their country. So I said back to them, I don't think that matters because citizens in the state of Israel are God's chosen people and Netanyahu is their leader. And they said, well, you've obviously been indoctrinated with dispensationalism and Zionism. Prior to those made-up ideologies, there were completely different interpretations for what Israel and God's chosen people meant in the Bible. And I said, I don't think that matters. But they just wouldn't listen to me. They said, besides, if God was referring to literal Middle Eastern Israelis, a ton of people in Israel don't have that DNA because they come from Europe. That's why DNA tests are outlawed in Israel, aside from some medical and legal testing exceptions, because they don't want people to know. And I said back to them, God, I hate you people.
God, I hate you people.
And there it was again. Then they called me gay and didn't accept my apology because they weren't convinced that I actually hate them. This one's insightful. JP Sears saw how much money Jew hating makes, so he decided to join.
Yeah, me too. Like he gets all, his voice gets all shaky. He gets so excited. Like, yeah.
Join in. Remember, retards.
It's disturbing. I don't even like to think about what other things might be happening.
It's like, JP, look at this map and think Arabs are the victims. Dude, I have become very wealthy from Jew hating. But, like, how did they know that? I don't even know how I'm going to earn money anymore. Do you think I'm a retard? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Now, with my apology, I'd like to offer the lessons I've learned from my mistakes in hopes that others can learn from them too. Lesson 1. You should be aligned with the side that's doing the censoring. Because prior to my video called, Hey Man, What's Zionism? Being censored from YouTube, I wasn't. And now I am. And you should be too, because censorship is known for being on the right side of history.
Oh, yeah, every time. Yeah, always.
And please do support your politicians who are actively trying to pass bills making it illegal to criticize or boycott Israel. Lesson 2. I've learned that distrusting any government makes you a stupid sack of shit. I mean, if you're not in lockstep with the persistent narrative and talking points of the government because your senses and thinking tells you something else, then you hate Jews. Lesson 3. I've learned that when there's tribalism, intimidation tactics being used, threatening to outcast you from society by destroying your reputation, Jew hater, anti-Semite, etc., you want to immediately comply and fall in line. Acting out
Oh, yeah, always. Just like with COVID, you got to comply and fall in line.
of your fear of not belonging aligns you with truth and really gives you more freedom as an individual. Lesson 4. I've learned that Israel in no way has influence over the U.S. government.
No, never. No, absolutely not. I mean, if you don't believe them, ask them.
Or U.S. politicians. And the politicians that are funded by the Israel lobby AIPAC, which the ones in
There you go, Jonathan.
red are, it's not an indicator of those politicians being influenced by the lobby that pays them. And it is indeed anti-Semitic to think that there's any level of connection there. Lesson 5. I've learned that thinking it's a crime, let alone evil, to commit genocide, prisoner rape, or killing children is not only not true, it's anti-Semitic to
Yeah, it's absolutely really anti-Semitic.
think so. Lesson 6. I've learned that we need to do whatever it takes to fight an ongoing war with Iran, and it has nothing to do with Israel. If you think it does, Jew hater. The truth is, our government says
Jew
we
hater.
need to, and we should trust that. And perhaps while we're over in Iran, for as long as it takes, we could scoot over to Iraq and finally find those WMDs that we're told they have. So with my
Yeah, you know they got to be there somewhere.
apology, I hope you can learn from my mistakes faster than I did. With all of that, once again, I'm sorry. Sincerely. You really think I'm a retard? Yeah? What about the sack of shit? Did you know?
What about the sack of shit part? Yeah, that's fun. That's hilarious. That's funny. I don't care who you are. I don't know. Maybe if you're Jewish, it's not funny, but you know. Or, yeah. Okay, guys. There we go. Well, that turned into a little longer than what I'd originally planned, but hey. Yes, he is. He's really good. He's hilarious. He got a lot of good takes. Guys, I really appreciate y'all for coming out. I had a really good time. Hope y'all did too. If you can't laugh at yourself, you suck as a person. That's exactly right. I laugh at myself all the time. It's better to laugh than to cry. Yeah, so I did take a few days off, so I'm going to try to hit it hard for the next few days. Yeah, I've had all kinds of technical difficulties and just problems in general, but I'm going to try to go solid. I'm going to try to go solid for the rest of next week. So I don't know. Me and Greg, we're talking about doing a show, maybe possibly tomorrow night. We'll have to let y'all know on that. So, guys, thanks again, everybody. You know the routine. Subscribe, notification, like, share, all that good stuff. And yeah, I've got posts up for PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo if anybody wants to support that way, because I'm not monetized. I'm trying, but I'm not there yet. So anyway, obviously I would appreciate that, and I just appreciate y'all showing up. So good night, all. Y'all have a good, well, there's not really much left of the night. But anyway, y'all have good what's left of the weekend. And I'll see y'all here again one way or the other tomorrow night.